Our goals are to educate and inspire and challenge every visitor of any age, as you referenced, to take a stand against discrimination, prejudice, and bigotry. Our education teams have started working together already to combine resources for education and community programming. How do you see this going forward? What do you see as our opportunities to create larger community conversations, perhaps together?
Well, I think, first of all, I would say I would expect this not to be like the creation of any other museum of the Holocaust. Um, if we are going to do that, then I think there really probably isn't a very big need to add another Holocaust museum like others. I think what we want to do is to come into this process with a very open mind to say, how can we, as people who really care about telling this story to our world, be as creative as possible to make sure that we tell this story through the eyes of those that lived it, and to do so being really faithful to who they were and are as people, to listen deeply to what they have to share with us, and to bring that out in a very creative way that's going to engage a generation of people. Think about this. The young people that we're building this museum for now will be visiting that museum 100 years after the Holocaust ended. Because, by the time we get this built and 20 years have gone by after it's been built, it'll already be 2045. What do we want young people 100 years after the Holocaust to experience? And I think that's one thing that's going to be very different from this, and I think is the question that we've got to have at the center of our discussions. I think building community, first of all, from the inside out. We care deeply about this subject. We've all, been walking the path of teaching about this for many, many years. But there are many people that we need to bring into our circle for whom they are not familiar. Building a very diverse community of stakeholders, making sure that it really touches all of the corners of Orlando's, community, of different groups and religions and backgrounds, and that feeling that this sense of involvement and engagement, that it really becomes the museum that everybody can feel that they have a part in and that their voice is heard through. I think that's really extremely important. It's also very important that we don't also just put words into the mouths of Holocaust survivors. They are still very much a part of our community, aging, but super smart and wise, and there to help us and help guide us. And so making sure that we don't instrumentalize them as people, but actually really listen to what they have to say with us and share with us, because that can help really inform how we go about doing what we're doing. Finally, I would just say that the professional teams that are working on this, you've assembled a formidable team, and congratulations on doing that. There's no shortage of skill and experience and professional, expertise that's going to be needed to do this. But that in itself, as wonderful as that is only really informed by the leadership of the organization, and what we want to see the story it's going to tell. That, I think, is really very significant in this, because then that professional team can execute against that vision. So having the vision you have is so critical, and I think you've chosen a vision which is of a very high order. I think it will stand the test of time, and it will draw on resources that have just simply never been seen. And so you'll also have something very unique to share with the world. And I think all those elements together, Ellen, will help this to become a very fruitful process, I'm sure.